What you say?
I said, when we do eat, we gonna eat.
All right. So we're going to continue with part 2 of calendar confusion. And again, just to restate, this is not a debate. This is not an attack on anybody's understanding. This is just a search for truth, because we want to be in line with the Most High the best we can. We Barak Yah for everybody's trying to return to Him, and whatever your understanding is, until you get more understanding, or if you ever get more understanding, you know, just continue to practice what you feel that you understand. Don't jump on something new because it sounds logical. Be a Berean and vet everybody. Last night we introed the class calendar confusion, and we opened up with the Most High, the great I am, and we went over precepts that said things like He knows the number of the stars. He has fastened the earth that it should not be moved. He weighs the fire. He knows the amount of wind. So the Most High is the great I am, and He created this earth for us. And He says He knows the yesterday, He knows tomorrow. But now man says, I got to help him keep his calendar in line. I need to add a little paprika here. I need to add a little mustard here to help the Most High. And we brought out, that's blasphemy. For any man, I don't care how many degrees you have, I don't care how many languages you speak, for you to think that you can help the Most High keep things in order, you are under the doctrine of Baal. You are touching Satan hand in hand. Then we transition and show through scripture that we have no solar or lunar years. When man comes and starts speaking about the solar year, it's 11 days shorter than the solar year. It's no disrespect, but we understand now that he's under the influence of Greco-Roman curriculums. Because in our scrolls, when the word year or Shana is mentioned, it's never attached lunar or solar. The Most High commanded the luminaries that include 3 parties. What 3 parties, family?
The sun, moon, and the stars.
The sun, moon, and the stars, and they all operate together. So anytime a man separates the sun from the moon and tell you, oh yeah, we follow the solar calendar, or the Hebrews was following a lunar calendar, they don't understand our culture. You need to stay out of our scrolls. We don't have a lunar year. We don't have a solar year. Then we transitioned and went over precepts that confirm which one of those great luminaries is the master timepiece. And with all the scripts that we brought out and secondary academic research, we were able, based on the plumb line, 3 witnesses, we had more than 3 witnesses that confirms the moon is the master timepiece, but that don't mean we have a lunar year. It's just the moon controls the months, the moon controls the feast, but she works in tandem with the sun, and our year, according to our Father, is not complete without one or the other. So we don't have 354 days, we have 364 days, and those days include the whole pattern or track of the moon. The moon's 354 days, and the sun's 360 days, and then there's an additional 4 days that we're going to get into later. So anybody separating the sun from the moon, their doctrine, their understanding is off. Then we went into, after solar year, did we get into, that was it, right? The master timepiece? That's all we got to, right? So
what do you have next?
Now we're going to get into what constitutes a year.
We did sundown.
Yeah.
Calm. We got Bereans in here. We also went over the sundown doctrine. There's a folklore doctrine that was put on us from the Seventh-day Adventists that our days in Israel start at sunset. So that's why a lot of people start their Sabbath sunset Friday to sunset Saturday. We went over all the scriptures that show, and we just opened up with the New Testament, that our week, our new day begins when light returns. So give me a couple of days, I will have the classes up on the YouTube channel. But according to all the precepts, our time, our days start when the sun returns. There is no sundown Pesach. SELAH, Pesach does start at sundown. There is no sundown Sabbath. We don't change our calendar at sundown. We start our feast of Pesach on the 14th. We start preparing everything on the 14th. In the evening of the 14th, we celebrate Passover. It's not the 15th. It don't become the 15th until sunlight. It don't become the 15th to sunlight, because if the 15th starts at sunset, that's confusion. We're celebrating Pesach and unleavened bread together. That's confusion. And our Father is not the author of confusion. So those are the topics we discussed yesterday. Now we're going to continue with calendar confusions, and we want to pick up and we want to be Bereans, and let's research, according to Abba Yah, what constitutes a year for us? What constitutes a year for us? So, Hai Abar Shana. Hai Abar Shana is the Hebrew year. It's the Hebrew year. There aren't any explicit passages inside the traditional King James version of the scrolls that tell us how many months complete our year. However, there are strong witnesses that makes it apparent the exact number of months our ancient ancestors kept in pre-exilic times. So before we got exiled out the land, you won't find in the Tanakh that you are to make your year 12 months. You are to make your year 40 months. You won't find a hardcore precept, and that's when we do a higher study using a plumb line. Can we find righteous elders practicing this? What did righteous elders practice? So this is how we got to find how many months we have in our year, according to Abba Yah. So let's open up with Abraham's generation. We're going to go through generational practices. We're going to open up with Abraham's generation, and let's go to Jasher chapter 9. Jasher chapter 9, and for those online who may not have it, can someone write those down for me? Jasher 9 and 8. We're going to go to Abraham's generation. We're going to Jasher.
It's Jasher 9, 8, and then
So we're going to start with Abraham's generation.
I took a screenshot of that. Maury, you want me to put it in the Telegram chat?
So we're going to go through a couple of generations of our ancestors and see if we can flesh out how many months there are in our culture. And those online, this is a website, sacredtext.com, and this is the book of Jasher. Jasher is not a man's name. Jasher in the Hebrew is Yashar. It's the book of the upright. So we're going to Jasher chapter 9. And we're just going to read verse 8. What? Come on now. And this is when Nimrod is controlling the world. The Tower of Babel is about to be built, and Abraham's father, Terah, is Nimrod's #1 general. So Abraham's father is Nimrod's #1 general. Terah and Abraham are not Hamites. They just decided to live with their cousins, the Hamites, because Nimrod was ruling the world, and he was a mighty man. So Terah, Abraham's father, stayed with our cousins, the Hamites. Let's go to... This is verse 8 in Terah, right here. And Terah, anyone can read. Can you read it out?
And Terah had 12 alahayim of large size, made of wood and stone, after the 12 months of the year.
After what?
After the 12 months of the year.
So this is Abraham's generation, and his father got caught up in idol worship with the rest of the Hamites, and his father Terah had 12 idols, and the 12 idols were for the 12 months of the year.
Zodiac signs, it sounds like.
Khan. He was following the Babylonians. He was following the Hamites. So in Abraham's generation, we have a hardcore witness that 12 was the number of months for the year. 12 was the number of months for the year. Let's go back to the presentation. So that's Abraham's generation. Let's go to Uncle Dawad's generation. Let's go to King David's generation. Let's go to 1 Chronicles 27. So our first generation was Abraham. His father had 12 idols. Those 12 idols was for the 12 months of the year. Let's go to King Dawad's generation, and we're going to run down 1 Chronicles chapter 27, verses 1 through 15. 1 Chronicles chapter 27, verses 1 through 15. Shema, we have it.
Shema.
Read.
Now the children of Yasha'al, after their number, to wit, the chief fathers and the captains of thousands and hundreds, and their officers that served the king in any matter of their courses or of the courses which came in and went out month by month throughout all the months of the year of every course were 24,000.
So David had servants, righteous men, mighty men of Israel, coming in to serve in the kingdom month by month. And how many were they?
24,000.
24,000. They're coming in to serve in the temple, in the kingdom, month by month, and it was a total of 24,000. Read on.
Over the first course for the first month was Jeshurun, the son of Zabadel, and his course were 24,000.
First month, continue.
Of the children of Perez was the chief of all captains of the host for the first month.
Still the first month. Read on.
And over the course of the second month was Dadai, and a Hittite or an Hittite, and of his course was Machalath, also the ruler. In his course likewise were 24,000.
Second month. Read on.
The third captain of the host for the third month was Benaiah, the son of Jeodiah, a chief priest, and in his course were 24,000.
Third month. Read on.
This is that Benaiah, who was mighty among the 30 and above the 30, and in his course was Amazabad, his son. The fourth captain for the fourth month was Ashal, the brother of Yaab, and Zabadiah, his son, after him, and in his course were 24,000. The fifth captain for the fifth month was Shamaath, the Ezah.
You can skip the names out. We just
And in his course were 24,000. The sixth captain for the sixth month, and in his course 24,000. The seventh captain for the seventh month of the children of Ephraim, in his course were 24,000. The eighth captain for the eighth month of the Zarites, and of his course were 24,000. The ninth captain for the ninth month of the Benjamites, and in his course were 24,000. The 10th captain in the 10th month of the Zarites, and in his course were 24,000. The 11th captain for the 11th month of the children of Ephraim, and his course was 24,000. The 12th captain for the 12th month, and in his course was 24,000.
You notice there's no 13th month. This is David's generation, and you can double check me. I believe the book of Matthew opens up with the generations of Yahushai. I believe from Abraham to David was 14 generations. So for 14 generations, we still only have 12 months. For 14 generations so far, we still only have 12 months. So let's go to our next generation. Let's go to Uncle Daniel's generation. Let's go to Daniel 29. Let's go to Daniel 29. Let's go to the next generation. Daniel 29. Khan, thank you, Hop. Keep me together, y'all. Daniel 9:29. Daniel 9:29.
Is that the Apocrypha?
No, this is Daniel.
It's only 27.
28. Yeah.
Daniel 9:29. Okay. Give me 1 second. So the chapter we're looking for is when Nebuchadnezzar is turned into a beast. Nebuchadnezzar, so scan the other chapters for those verses, y'all. I apologize.
11.
Is 11?
Is it 4? Daniel 4:29?
4:29. Thank you, Ab. Thank you, Ab. So let's go to Daniel 4:29. Thank you so much. The water of Rabah. Calm. Daniel 4:29. Daniel 4:29. Shema, read.
At the end of 12 months, he walked in the palace of the kingdom of Babylon. The king spake and said, is not this great Babylon that I have built for the house of the kingdom by the might of my power and for the honor of my majesty? While the word was in the king's mouth, there fell a voice from heaven saying, O King Nebuchadnezzar, to thee it is spoken, the kingdom is departed from thee, and they shall drive thee from men, and thy dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field. They shall make thee to eat grass as oxen, and 7 times shall pass over thee.
What's 7 times, family?
A week.
When you got one brave soul, what's 7 times shall pass over you? So when you see times with an S, it's plural, it's for years. So the Most High just said, since you want to go and say that you made yourself great, now you're going to be a beast like the animals for 7 years. But the takeaway here is, it's at the end of the year, and Nebuchadnezzar is looking around his palace at the end of the year, look at my great kingdom. Instead of realizing that Yah gave you the world. Yah made you head of the world. So Nebuchadnezzar just lost his mind, literally. Yah says, you're going to walk like a beast for 7 years. And it's at the end of the year, so boom, the next new moon is going to start his 7 years. So in Daniel's generation, we still have 12 months, even in Babylon. And we can verify this, that we know Daniel and the 3 Hebrew boys became the princes of Babylon, just like Joseph was prince of Egypt. So we always was ruling the world. So we know Daniel is not going to add 13, 14, 15 months. So here we got another generation still verifying that it's only 12 months in the year. It's only 12 months in the year. So this is a Babylonian scroll, and this is called a Zodiac scroll. This is the complete Zodiac of 12 months, and this is around 500 BC. This is around 500 BC, and this is near the time that our family were captives in Babylon. And of course, we can't read this. This is called the cuneiform because their letters would look like cones and stuff. So this script is called cuneiform script. But the website is there, and I was telling the British Museum has stolen almost everybody's relics. So the British Museum has this Zodiac scroll, and this breakdown is given the months of the year, and it's 12 months. It's 12 months. This on the screen is called a Babylonian. That thing jumped back up there. Astrolabe. This is a Babylonian astrolabe, and this is how they recorded what they seen in the sky. This is how the Babylonians recorded what they seen in the sky. So you can see this fragment, you can see it's an arch. So it's a circle. It's a circle. And they're recording, because they're astrologers, they were sorcerers too. They were getting a lot of their information from the fallen angels, and you can get that in the Sefer in I think Jubilees. So that's why you can't. It's dangerous following Babylon. Anything you get from Babylon, you're following the fallen angels. But their astrologers are credited with being the masters of the astrology. They're the first ones to map out the stars, and no one questioned, well, why y'all got all this great knowledge? Because they're getting their information from the fallen angels. So this is an astrolabe, and this astrolabe verifies that it's 12 months in a year. It's 12 months in a year. And this is part of the part of the article that I snipped here. And I asked the question because that's how I troubleshoot. Like I'm telling y'all to troubleshoot. I ask questions. That's how I know asking questions is going to help you be better Bereans. So how are they so advanced? How are the Babylonians so advanced? He reads here. Let me read it here. But how can we explain the fact that the majority of the stars from the Babylonian astrolabe are in their correct paths in around 5500 BC? He's saying, how can these Babylonians map out the stars in their exact path 5500 BC? He said there's 4 options. 1, the result is by chance. They just got lucky. Highly unlikely, right? 2, he says, someone who knew about the precision in around 1500 BC or before made up the astrolabe with the position of the stars as in 5500 BC. So he said someone probably had prior knowledge. That's the second supposition. The third possibility, the path positions of the stars in the astrolabe has been observed and determined around 5500 BC. So he's saying, well, I guess they've been like that since 5500 BC. 4, the fourth possibility, not only the path positions of the stars in the astrolabe, but also the complete astrolabe as a calendar with what? 12 months. 5,500 years ago, they knew it was only 12 moons because the Father only given us 12 moons. Anytime someone's giving you 13 moons, they're following the fallen angels that indoctrinated the Babylonian astrologers. Deal with it. Deal with it. Facts of the case. I won't go to it because I'm tired of pulling up the website. But if you got a Book of Jubilees, anybody got Jubilees with them? Anybody got Jubilees with them?
Yeah, we do.
All right, let me stop. Queen, I know what you're dealing with. You gotta go. You gotta go.
He keeps putting me out there.
I know you've been doing so much. I'm going to pull up Jubilees chapter 11 so the family online can read this for themselves. Jubilees 11 and 3. We're going to show you why the Babylonians were so advanced in their technology. What was it, y'all? Jubilees 3?
11 and 3.
Jubilees 11 and 3. Let's show you why these Chaldeans were so highly advanced than the rest of the world. This is the Book of Jubilees, chapter 11 and verse 3. Read.
And Ur, the son of Kasad, built the city of Arad of the Kasadayam and called its name after its own name and the name of his father.
So this Hamite named Ur, he was the son of Kasad. He built the city of Ur. It's the city of the Chaldees. Chaldees is the ancient name for Babylon, and you find that in our scrolls. So this Babylonian built the city and named it after his father. It's the Ur of the Chaldees, and this is where Abraham grew up at. Read on.
And they made for themselves molten images, and they worshiped each the idol, the molten image which they had made for themselves, and they began to make graven images and unclean, what's that word? Simulacra and malignant spirits assisted and seduced them into
Who? Malignant what?
Malignant spirits assisted and seduced them into committing transgression and uncleanliness.
The Babylonians, the Chaldees, were far advanced in technology. They built the first plane, family. They built the first airplane way before these Europeans. The Babylonians had ancient secrets of heaven because of the fallen angels got mad that Yah wouldn't forgive them. Enoch tells you that. They got mad that Yah wouldn't forgive them and give them back their position. So they said, you know what? We're going to corrupt your creation. So the Hamites, the Babylonians, are far advanced in astrology because they're getting it from the fallen angels. Now, what they don't tell you is the fallen angels gave them bad math. bad math. So when you follow things like 13 months and you don't know why, when you believe in things you don't understand, what Steve you want to say? Very superstitious. Very superstitious. When you believe in things you don't understand, you just following the crowd. This assembly doing it, so I guess I'll do it. It's a good starting point, but be Bereans. Don't sit down there and soak up people's YouTube channel and you don't know what you're doing, because you stink to Most High. You stink to high heaven when you follow Babylon. So the Babylonians have their information from the fallen angels. From the fallen angels. Your feast stinks in my nostrils.
Stevie Wonder also said, after he said, when you believe in things you don't understand, he said, you suffer.
Woo! Woo! That's a great follow-up. And you suffer, family. This is not an attack on anybody. We've all did things out of ignorance. So this is not what this is for you to get convicted. Any teacher teaching this is not for you to get convicted and get puffed up. Seek your Father and see what he lays on your heart. We're going to give you more history that our culture, our Abanawa only gave us 12 months. Only gave us 12 months. I gotta be able to dock this down there.
Yeah, offhand without messing it up though, I don't know. So we'll do it later.
All right.
In a practice run.
So we just went through Abraham's generation, Dawah's generation, Daniel's generation. Let's go to Hadassah's generation. Let's go to Esther chapter 2, verse 12. Let's go to another generation. Let's go to Esther chapter 2. Esther 2 and verse 12. Read.
Now when every maid's turn was come to go into King Ahasuerus, after that she had been 12 months, according to the manner of the women. For so were the days of their purifications accomplished, to wit, 6 months with oil of myrrh, and 6 months with sweet odors, and with other things for the purifying of the women.
Here's another witness and another generation. Hadassah, we were in Persia after the Babylonian captivity. Persia came and took Nebuchadnezzar's kingdom. So now we have another kingdom over us, another generation, and we see our auntie Hadassah, she got purified for 6 and 6 months, 12 months. Let's go over to chapter 3, verse 7. Esther chapter 3, verse 7.
In the first month, that is the month Nisan, in the 12th year of King Ahasuerus, they cast par, that is the lot, before Haman, from day to day and from month to month, to the 12th month.
To the which month?
The 12th month.
To the which month?
The 12th month, that is the month Adar.
So can I kick it?
Yes, you can.
So if our ancient ancestors knew anything of a possibility of a 13th month, of a second Adar, they call it Ve'adar, the pagans, Ve'adar, if they knew anything about a righteous second 13th month, they would have had to mention it here. They would have had to specify which Adar this was. But nowhere in the text do he say, oh, this is first Adar or second Adar. Or nowhere does he qualify this year only had 12 months. So we have another witness that we only have 12 months in our culture. I'm trying to help people. I'm trying to save people. We have Israelite communities just following the crowd. Woe to you. Broad is the way to destruction. If you need to follow the crowd, if you need a bunch of yes men behind you, Yahushua is not for you. That's the facts of the case. That's the facts of the case. Let's go to another witness. Now let's go back to Uncle Nawaz or Nawak's generation. Nawak means Yah his comforter or the comforter. Let's go back to Nawak's generation. That O is supposed to be a W, Nawak. Let's go back to Noah's generation. Let's go to Genesis chapter 8. Genesis chapter 8. We're trying to help our family. This is not to divide. This is to save our nation. We could have been out of here, but we keep getting pollutions inside our feast, inside our culture. We're trying to help people, break people free. Let's go back to Noah's generation. Genesis 8 and verse 5 through 6. Shemai, read.
And the waters decreased continually until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the first day of the month, were the tops of the mountains seen. And it came to pass at the end of the 40 days that Noah opened the window of the ark which he had made, and he sent forth a raven, which went forth to and fro until the waters were dried up. from off the earth.
Hold on, let's do some quick math real quick. So it's the 8th, he says the 10th month.
10th month.
It's the 10th month, right? How many days pass after the 10th month? 40 days, right? Did he say the number of the date of the month? Did he say the date of the month?
The first day of the month.
It's the first day of the 10th month. So he says the first, verse 5 says it's the first day of the 10th month, right? Then he says 30 days, right? So if it's the first day of the 10th month, we add 30 days, what month are we in? The 11th month? How many days into the 11th? Because he said 30 or 40? 40. So that gives us 10 days into the 11th month. So we're 10 days into the 11th month, right? Let's drop down to verses 10. Verses 10.
And he stayed yet another 7 days, and again he sent forth the dove out of the ark.
So we're in the 11th month, and we're in the 10th of the 11th month, and Noah stayed another 7 days. What's 10 plus 7?
17.
So now we got the 17th of the 11th month. Let's read on.
Verse 11, and the dove came into him in the evening, and lo, in her mouth was an olive leaf plucked off. So Noah knew that the waters were abated from off the earth.
The dove comes with an olive leaf, signs of life on the earth, a green olive leaf, signs of life on the earth. Read on.
And he stayed yet another 7 days.
Another 7 days. So we said we was at the 17th of the 11th month. 17 plus 7. So we got the 24th of the 11th month. Let's read on.
And he stayed yet another 7 days and sent forth the dove, which returned not again unto him anymore. And it came to pass in the 601st year, in the first month, the first day of the month, the waters were dried up from off the earth, and Noah removed the covering of the ark, and looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry.
So go ahead. Yeah, we need that one too.
And in the second month, on the 7th and 20th day of the month, was the earth dry.
So I hate to use deductive reasoning and Greek logic because those are foreign tools to us, but we can concretely, by the text here, we can concretely says by the 24th of the 11th month, the earth was beginning to show life because the dove showed up with a green olive leaf. We get signs, we got signs back in February that we seen dandelions coming up. And now in this generation, the 11th month, we got signs of life coming back to the earth. Now he didn't give us what's happening in the 12th month, but it's kind of logical that year for Noah only had 12 months. We can't say for sure, but deductive reasoning, that year for Noah only had 12 months. So I would go on a limb and say, even in Noah's generation, there was only 12 months. There was only 12 months. So now let's go back to Jasher chapter 6 to get some more context of Noah. Let's go back to Jasher 6 and 38. Because Jasher has some more information about the flood story. Where's my tag at? Six and 38. So we're going to go to Jasher 6 and 38 and get some more details about the flood. So let's go to Jasher 6, and where I'm at. Can y'all read? I gotta make it smaller. Those online, I'm sorry, I gotta make it smaller so we can see it. So this is, we're gonna read Joshua 6 and 38. And I just seen it. Oh, here we go. Can y'all see this verse? Or you want to? I can read it. You got it. This is Joshua 6 and 38.
More, it's a little small on my end.
I know. I'm sorry. If I magnify, it's going to cut off the verse for us. I'm sorry.
I understand. No problem. No problem. I'm listening.
This is Joshua 6 and 38. Read.
Yeshua chapter 6, verse 38. And at the revolution of the year, when a full year was completed to Noach's dwelling in the ark, the waters were dried from off the earth, and Noach put off the covering of the ark. At that time, on the 27th day of the second month.
Where you at?
Joshua chapter 6. Well,
Oh, you know what? The translations might be different verses. I got you. Repeat. Start over because you still caught it in that verse.
I'll let Shamar.
So 37, or
Is it 30? I can't even see the number.
the one you got highlighted is 37.
Okay. Let's read that one.
Okay.
And Yahweh hearkened to the voice of Noah and said to him, when thou shalt have completed a full year, thou shalt then go forth.
Completed a what?
Full year.
Here's the Most High Yah telling Noah, you're going to complete a full year before you get off the ark. So the text in Genesis is incomplete because the hard count we stopped at was the 24th of the 11th month. But Yah just says, you're going to stay in the ark a full year. All the witnesses just says we got 12 months to make a full year. So now I can say it's safe to say, even in Noah's generation, it's only 12 months. Our ancient righteous fathers only know 12 months. Only know 12 months. Only know 12 months. So now let's go back to the presentation. So let's check out our future. Let's check out the future of Yasharallah. Let's go to Revelation 22 and verse 2. Revelation 22 and verse 2. You can read it from the screen or you can follow along, whatever you want to do. Revelation 22 and verse 2, and this is our future. Shema, read.
In the midst of the street of it, and on either side of the river, was there the tree of life, which bare 12 manner of fruits, and yielded her fruit every month. And the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations.
How many manner of fruits?
12.
And how many months do they yield their fruit? Every month. These trees got 12 different fruits, and they're yielding their fruit every month. No mention, no possibility of ever having a 13th month. So family, we just completed a Berean in-depth look at multiple generations from Noah all the way to our future. When Yahweh Shai and the Most High comes down, there's only 12 months or 12 moons. So anybody telling you that sometimes you got to add a 13th month, show me the scriptures. Show me the scriptures. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. This one in the Old Testament, just to refresh it. Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. This is just to confirm and verify all the generations we just went through. Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. Shema. Read.
The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun.
There is no new thing under the sun. We just went through multiple generations of righteous Israelites, and there's only 12 months. So for someone to say, oh yeah, but now because the stars are out of whack, and now because, no, show me the verse. Show me the literature from ancient righteous Israelites. It's only 12 months. Now we're going